Thank you for your patience. I'm Boog Highberger. I represent 46th District, basically east side of Lawrence. It's been a real honor and pleasure to serve. So I used to be in city government, and I used to really enjoy getting out in the street and talking about issues. I found that in this position, 90 to 95% of the feedback I get from people is either thank you so much for what you do there, or how can you stand to do that? One reason I can stand to do that is because I get to come back and talk to a room full of great people like you. Let me see, I don't have an opposition this time, so barring any unforeseen circumstances, I will have the opportunity to represent you again. Thank you. I really enjoy serving with the great delegation we have here. I spent the last 2 days in Topeka. There was a joint meeting of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees. I was hopeful at the beginning. Even yesterday, we were having really good conversations about how to respond to the Supreme Court decision on school finance. My hopes were kind of dashed in the afternoon. The Senate Judiciary made no recommendation about how to respond, and the House Judiciary Committee actually voted to not respond, they refused an opportunity to recommend that we comply with the Supreme Court decision on school finance. So my hopes for the special session are kind of dim at this point, especially since I've heard that the intention of the Republican leadership is to have us gavel in on Thursday, and they're telling their people to be there all the next week. And so it really sounds like we're going to push a bad decision way toward like almost the 30th of June and see how the Supreme Court responds. And I think that does not bode well. But I think the people of Kansas are going to have something to say about that in November. Since I'm not up for re-election, I want to talk about another important election. Stephen mentioned on that. We have 5 Supreme Court justices up for retention elections this year. The Americans for Prosperity and the Kansas Chamber of Commerce have already made it clear their intention to make sure that those judges are not retained. There will be millions and millions and millions of dollars of outside money coming into the state this year to tell you, and I'm not making this up, I'm quoting from the literature I've already seen. They're going to tell you that our Supreme Court justices are stupid and lazy and incompetent. You're going to hear about the Carr brothers until you can't stand them anymore. But we need to be very clear. This retention election is not about the Carr brothers. It's not about school finance. It's about giving our current governor the opportunity to appoint 5 new Supreme Court justices. If that doesn't scare the pants off of you, then I don't know what will. And to just echo on what the governor said, this is the most important election in Kansas history. And I just want to touch on a couple things the governor mentioned. 200 miles of road maintenance we're doing this year. Yeah, 200 miles is a lot. If we do that, we will get to every mile of our state highway system once every 50 years. Put that in a little context. And in terms of the impact of our decisions on our state educational system, I heard this really scary information at a Kansas Association of School Boards meeting. It was last year, actually, that a few years ago, that the incoming class in our school of education here, the average ACT scores were the second highest of any school in the college, in the university, right only after the engineering school. Last year, the average ACT scores for the incoming education class was the minimum for entry level. So the best and the brightest are already leaving education because of what we've done in Topeka. So with your support, I'm going to go back and keep the fight. I think the pendulum swinging back this year, and I'm really looking forward to being there when we can start doing some positive things for the state of Kansas. Thank you so much for your